If you're listening right now to the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast, we know something about you. We know that you're obsessed with Little House on the Prairie.
For more than half a century, Little House on the Prairie, the series and the books have been bright lights for people all over the world who seek out goodness, decency, and human connection.
Here on the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast, we celebrate everything that made Little House so special.
The stories, the characters, the actors, and the messages that have made Little House iconic family television.
And a perfect counterpoint to a world that feels like it's going off the rails every day.
Where is Michael Landon when we need him most? I'm your host, Pamela Bob.
And I'm your prairie bitch, Allison Arngrim.
And I'm Dean Butler.
Our hashtag imaginary boyfriend. Join us for our loving, quirky, and often irreverent conversations about the finest family drama in the history of television.
And the imperfect people who made it that way.
In this third season, we are extremely grateful for the support of VisitSeeMeValley.com for their continuing sponsorship of Little House on the Prairie and the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast. Hello, bonnet heads. How are you? This is Pamela Bob, your host, creator and star of Living on a Prairie, and your super fan. And I'm here with our wonderful prairie bitch, Allison Arngrim, and our hashtag imaginary boyfriend, Dean Butler. Hi, guys. It's always good seeing you.
Oh, hi.
How's it going? What's happening? Give me something.
I'm going to go Burrock. I am excited about Burrock, Iowa, because I'm getting my Laura Ingalls Wilder official site bingo card.
Yes. It is complete.
You know, I've been to Walnut Grove like 8 gazillion times. I've been to Mansfield, Missouri for the Laura Ingalls house a million times. I've made it to Independence. I made it to Independence, Kansas. I've made it to Smet twice. I kind of got everywhere. I went to Rose's house in San Francisco once.
Wow.
So Pepin. I finally got Pepin under the belt. So I haven't been to Burr Oak, Iowa, and that's like a major dot on the map on the Laura Ingalls journey.
Yeah,
and
a major dot and one of the tiniest places you'll ever go to.
Actually, a dot.
It is a tiny little spot. It's listed as Burr Oak, but actually it's a sort of a division of Decorah, Iowa, which is really where like the post office ships to Decorah. It's the same
because the
street
town
address,
is so
but
small, it doesn't even get. Wow.
It doesn't even get its own town by the post office.
But
it's charming. The Masters Hotel is charming. Very nice people. I mean,
the Masters Hotel's still
you're gonna have
there.
a good time.
It's the Masters Hotel that she didn't want to talk about in the books, and it was so awful. It's there. It's there.
Yes.
And the reporter was from Decorah when I did an interview, and I said, "Well, I don't know if I'm staying in Burr Oak," and she laughed. Said, "No, dear, you're staying in Decorah. There isn't any place to stay in Burr Oak."
Yes.
There's a parade. I don't know, 5-6 minutes. How long will that be?
It's really quick. I rode in a vintage T-Bird down the street, and I want to say it couldn't have been much more than 200 yards.
Right, the world's fastest parade.
No, it was. You know, we think the parade is close. We think of the parade as being pretty short when we go to Mansfield. This is about a quarter of that. Or less, a fifth of the parade. It's very tiny. It's very sweet, and people.
Yet the event is well attended.
Yeah.
My understanding is people drive in and this is like a thing.
Well, you're gonna be a huge hit.
Well, it sounds like when the circus comes to Walnut Grove, there are 20 to 30 new people that came into town during that circus. So yes, same. Same.
Yes.
I'm bringing the wig and the nightie. We are doing in Burr Oak photos of me in the wheelchair.
Nice.
The nightie and wig is a special.
So do you have to travel with a wheelchair?
No,
they have one probably.
They
right?
have one, and what most places do, they either go to like the whatever nearby college has a theater company, or in this case, I mean, they're probably surrounded by antique places.
Right, so there might be a vintage wheelchair. Yeah.
As you drive to Burr Oak, you're going to see a lot of Amish buggies and carriages on the road. I mean, this is very much Amish country.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So it's an in and out too, because they go, oh, it's not 2 days. No, it's only 1 day. It's not that big a place. So I'm very excited because this is the Laura Ingalls. They have a little passport in some of the museums and the stores, a little passport with all the Laura sites, and you get it stamped. So I'm like bingo card.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
That's awesome. That's all. You know, you're going to have a great time. I just want to very quickly, this last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, for the Library of Congress and the National Library Service, I recorded Farmer Boy for the Blind for the Braille Institute.
Oh, that's great.
And had so much fun. And this came out of my visit to the Library of Congress. And I just said, what can I do? And I'd love to read something for you. And so I got a call the next day from the Braille Institute saying, come in and record Farmer Boy. So I just had a great time. It was just lovely. And I got a little teary at the end. If you've ever read Farmer Boy, well, Alice, I know we've read Farmer Boy multiple times. Pamela, you've read Farmer Boy, right?
I listened to you read Farmer Boy.
Oh, very good. So, I mean,
COVID.
The best food in the Little House books,
yes,
absolutely and for sure. I mean, I've never seen food and heard about food like this before.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. So, and with as in a book, it's so interesting how we all read. As I'm reading, you know, when Allison and I read together, there's a lot of things that our brains do to fill space, or we substitute words, or we put it into language that makes sense to us. And it's very subtle. It's a verb conjugation here and there. It's the choice of a word, something. When you're recording a book for the Library of Congress, for the Braille Institute, and for the National Library Service, it has to be absolutely word for word. Yeah. And I'm sure most books are like this. But what's interesting is Laura's language in this book is a little archaic. And I think maybe more so here. I don't remember it being as she went on, it became more and more sort of, I don't know, contemporized the way she wrote it. But there's a lot of little quirky stuff in this book that you just have never seen before. Language, words, technology of the time that you've never heard of before. And it's really fun to come across these things and realize, oh my God, I don't know what that is, or I've never seen that word, have no experience with that. And you have to go back and the producer he's got his Webster's dictionary open on his desktop, and he's checking pronunciations, and he did a great job. If you ever have a chance to record with Keith Reynolds at the Braille Institute, I recommend it. He's awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
So beyond that, and Allison, you're going to Baroque. Our event in Nashville is coming in September. Lots of details going on with that, which will be shared online, but lots of things happening with that. Coming up in July. Oh, and that's Little House on the Prairie, castreunions.com. In Malone, New York at Almanzo's Farm. Allison, me, Jennifer Donati, Charles Bloom, Allison's comedy show, meet and greet, Saturday VIP dinners. Check it out at almanzowilderfarm.com. And Allison, there's another web address for tickets to your comedy show. Is there not?
Yes, but it's on their page. If you go to
the
page, it says Allison Arnger at the top, and you can click on. There's a whole page about my show, and if you click on tickets,
she has her own tab.
Stuff. There are indeed tickets to Allison's show. They are there absolutely, and I think we're getting a little everything because we got Charles, we got Early Day. I mean,
he's a trip.
Charles
Bloom
shall
awesome.
Be entertaining. Yes.
Oh my God. Yes, he's entertaining. Allison and I will be at Heritage Village in Sharonville, Ohio on August 7th and 8th. And what's so great about this is it's so nicely equidistant from a lot of places. I mean, when I was there last summer, people were driving from pretty major cities that are 2, 3, 4 hours away. It's not like you're crossing the country to come to the event, so a lot of people can come
because it's right outside of Cincinnati, right?
Right, exactly.
So I'm sure you get people straight there from Provincetown because I've got 2 shows in P-Town, the 4th and 5th, and so on the 6th I'm going to turn right around and fly straight to Cincinnati, which then isn't that far instead of flying over to LA, and show up to do the 7th and 8th in Ohio. Yeah, no,
it's going to be you're going to love this location. Recommend it to anybody who can get there. It's a beautiful spot, very leafy, and beautifully maintained. It's really, really nice.
And while you're in Cincinnati, if you want the best Indian food ever, go to Ambar India in Ludlow in Cincinnati. It's the best. It's the best restaurant. It's the best Indian food ever.
Wow.
I'll text you guys the info. It's so good.
Oh,
Shout
put
out
it
to
in,
Ambar
put it in
there.
the show notes.
Okay.
If you know, I'll go.
Yeah.
And Grader's ice cream. And
Oh, well,
cinnamon
so that's
chili
important.
If you're into
If
the
you know ice
cinnamon
cream
chili.
places, put those down.
It's right next door to the Indian restaurant. It's right next door.
Conveniently.
Perfect.
You're going to need some after this.
Yes, I get it. That
next
makes
door.
sense. We've got an amazing Pamela. Let's get to the episode.
Okay, today we're doing a very really wonderful story about loving our fellow man, which is the common theme of Little House on the Prairie and Michael Landon's intention, I believe, for the show, with a character who, yes, he enters the vortex. As soon as we're done. But he's a good one. You'll remember him forever. But first, from UBN Go and Prairie Partners and visit SeeMeValley.com and you, our patrons, this is the Little House on the Prairie 50th Anniversary Podcast. All right, Dean, do us the honors, will you please?
Yeah. So today we are talking about episode 15 of season 5. I'd seen pieces of this episode, but I had not really focused on it I've heard about this episode for years. I mean, people have talked about this episode endlessly. It's very special. This is the Craftsman we're talking about. The Craftsman premiered on January 8th, 1979, produced by Kent McRae, shot by Ted Voigtlander. It's beautiful, written by Paul Wolf.
I cannot believe Michael Landon didn't write this episode.
I'm sure he rewrote.
I'm sure he co-wrote.
He rewrote everything.
So
he's on the page for sure.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, and then it was, of course, directed by Michael. He stepped into this. Michael did. I always feel like Michael did premieres, sweeps episodes, the season-ending episode, and maybe a couple of others during the year. Each year. I mean, he could, unlike with Highway to Heaven, where he literally directed I want to say he directed 100 of the episodes in Highway to Heaven, and out of the 110 episodes they made or something. I mean, it was just insane.
By the way,
work
did you
he was
see
doing
that
on
they're
that.
doing a reboot of Highway to
Yes,
Heaven?
that is true. We can talk about that.
We'll talk about that
another
later.
occasion.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so wonderful performances all around. Special shout outs to Matthew Laborteaux, who is spectacular.
This kid. I'm sorry.
This episode.
He's so young, like a baby Albert.
And Pamela and John Blyfer. Now, Blyfer, would that be the right way to pronounce that name, do you think?
I suppose so.
Allison, any thoughts on that? John Blyfer. Is it so Bleifer?
F-E-R. I don't know any other way you could.
Okay.
Unless it's Bleefer, but
Bleefer. Could be
Blyfer
Bleefer.
seems correct.
Bleefer. So that's what Isaac. That's our Isaac. Yes.
So, Allison, what's this about?
Wow, this guy. The Craftsman is one of Little House on the Prairie's most moving explorations of friendship, prejudice, and the dignity of every human life. This is insane. Isaac Singerman, a master craftsman, is lonely after his grown son he leaves home. He goes back to New York to get married.
He's got to get married.
Got to get a girl. Isaac hires Albert Ingalls as his apprentice, who's like a baby. He's so cute. An unlikely friendship blossoms between the eager young orphan and the gentle Jewish craftsman. Albert is forced to confront the ugly reality of antisemitism when classmates and even Laura begin treating him differently because of the company he keeps.
Fascinating. We will talk about that.
Yes, we will talk about that.
As Isaac quietly prepares for the day when he will build his final masterpiece, his own coffin. Yes, that totally happens here. Albert learns a person's worth is measured not by their faith or the opinions of others, but by the kindness of their actions and the lives they touch. Beautifully written and directed with quiet restraint, The Craftsman is a touching meditation on friendship, mortality, and the courage to stand against bigotry. Craftsman reminds us that every person carries an inherent dignity, and the finest work we will ever do is not what we build with our hands, but we shape in the hearts of others. And yet, this has themes about death and dying and mortality that are
All
like,
of it.
The whole thing is themes. I mean, everything in this episode are not just the common themes of, you know, anti-racism and inclusivity and everything that Little House on the Prairie stands for, but every single thing I was saying before we recorded, this episode is so quintessentially Jewish in the sense that everything that is talked about, all of the themes that are touched upon, have roots in Judaism, all of it, which are incredibly universal. You know, everyone
I
can,
think
can
so,
get
too.
behind it.
oh, the advice he gives Albert. I was writing down, going, well, you know, that's a good idea. It's so Michael.
That's a good idea.
Michael is drawing probably on his dad and his grandpa.
Yeah.
Things he's doing with this character because Michael, Eugene Orowitz, is Eugene Maurice Orowitz.
He must have
And
really
it was
loved
a
his
thing.
father, Michael Landon.
He did. He talked about that a lot. So I think
Yeah.
now I have to our guy Isaac Singerman here, that John Blefor.
God, he's so
whatever.
good. Yeah.
So many things. So you can look up stuff he did. There's a comedy, The Frisco Kid, but he's first rabbi in that. But there is a miniseries, a British miniseries called QB7, Queen's Bench Number 7. If you never saw it, I don't even know if it's streaming. I haven't seen it in 3,000 years. I am so digging this up. It stars Anthony Hopkins and Ben Gazzara. So like, wow, what is happening? So
Jeez
off
Louise.
charts and a bunch of other stars. It's mind-blowing. It's a really intense miniseries. Trigger warning, brace yourselves. It's hard. It's hard subjects. It's rough stuff. It's an incredible film. And yes, this man that plays Isaac Singerman is in that. And it's just a wall-to-wall, intense, blowout, all the stops performances.
Wow, yeah.
QB7, find out where they're streaming that sucker. And
I love it. I love this episode, and he was so wonderful in it.
Yeah. This is one of those episodes, I think we'd agree, where Michael did not, obviously you can see Paul Wolf was the writer of the episode on the record, the writer of record. You can see, as we inferred during the intro, Mike, you see Michael, his all over.
Yeah.
His thinking is all over this script.
Yes.
What if I lost my train of thought on there?
Because there's so much to talk about.
Well, there is so much to talk about.
I literally was like, where do we even start? Like, do we talk about the historical accuracy? Do we just start at the top of the episode? Like, how do we do this? Because there's so much to talk about.
There's and you can hear Michael's voice in it in some of the humorous moments.
Oh, totally.
And I went, that's a Michael joke. Oh, stop it. I know that one. Yeah, I mean, it's so Michael.
Well, Michael always used to do the jokes about the rabbi, the priest, and the whatever the third person was. And he would do all the voices, and he would do funny stuff. Funny stuff.
Jokes. It was,
funny dad jokes. Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, no, I think that, well, the way this begins, I love the way this begins. This episode is so well thought through, where the first shot we see and the last image we see relate to an acorn that is first seen on the windowsill of a wood shop.
Yep.
And then the last thing we see is an acorn being planted in the ground. And there's a lot of history and tradition involved in that, which we will talk about.
Well, I guess we'll start with that in terms of like historical, cultural facts, which is, and I found this fascinating that they incorporated this so deeply into this episode, which is planting trees is a huge cultural tradition in Judaism. When someone is born, you plant a tree. When someone dies, you plant a tree as a memorial. I mean, so often, every Jewish funeral, I've ever been to, you plant a tree in memorial for that person. There's even a holiday called Tu B'Shvat, which is the New Year of the trees, where everyone's supposed to plant a tree. I mean,
Arbor
Jewish
Day.
culture, it's ancient Arbor Day, and the Jewish culture they're environmentalists, they're naturalists. You're not allowed to kill a tree that bears fruit. You know what I mean? Like it's very much part of the culture. So I loved that You didn't have to know this about Judaism to understand what it represents in this episode, but planting trees is the ultimate faith in the future, is what it really represents.
There you go. There you go.
And there's even a story saying that if, when the Messiah comes, if you're holding an acorn, you have to plant it first. If you're holding a seed, you have to plant it first before going to the Messiah. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Like, that's how deeply entrenched it is. So I love that they use this.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful metaphor. It really
and he comes back to it multiple times. He comes back to the acorn multiple times. So we know that this is an important point.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is we create things with wood. We
have
more. Every time I build something out of wood, I put another acorn in the ground and a thing.
Right, to say thank you for the...
Say thank you and have more wood later, and it's just like, duh.
Right,
hello.
exactly. Right. I mean, and that's the thing, too, is that all of these philosophies and all of these lessons, they are completely universal. They might be based in Jewish culture, but they are 100% universal for anybody.
I would. It would be surprising if someone would not identify with what the core of what all these things are about. Absolutely.
We established this guy as such a gentle guy when with one of our other crusty characters who goes into the Vortex later.
I don't know. Now, do we know? So the episode starts off. We meet father and son. And we find out that they are craftsmen, and we see them working together. And then the next, we immediately cut to the Singerman's wagon delivering a coffin that they have made to
Beautiful
the mercantile.
Coffin.
As it drives up, we see another older gentleman walking through town, not someone I've ever seen before.
Frank Dekova, who plays Brewer, according
Vortex.
to his bio, he parlayed a stinging scowl, piercing eyes, and all-around menacing attitude into a collection of cold-blooded thugs, etc., etc.
He made a career on that. Okay, cool.
Weirdly, he also played Native Americans, because remember, it was like back in the 50s and 60s, 70s when they would make guys to play the Indians. This guy played, I don't know if he had any Native American extraction. Who knows? Because it was that.
Right.
But
I'm sure he
by
didn't.
golly, he played. He also was on Little House again, playing Chief Kilowatt in that.
No!
Halloween.
Oh, gosh.
The episode makes you cringe. Halloween.
Oh, no.
Chief Kilowatt.
Mr. Burr, he was Chief Kilowatt. So that was his gig.
What were they thinking, guys?
He's almost nice in this one. He's cranky and yelling at the kids, but he's redeemable, at least in this one.
Right.
As opposed to Larrabee, it's just like, forget it.
Well, we'll get to Larrabee in a second.
All right. So, and as they're delivering the coffin, we see some towns kids, the Larrabee kids, teasing, who they kick a ball into the back of Brewer's head, and he gets upset, and he tries to get the kid who kicked the ball, and he ends up breaking his cane. And that so then we get to see Isaac Singerman step in and talk about kindness, and that there's no why are we so mad at calm down, you can always get a new cane, but you're frightening a boy,
right?
Is what he says.
If you must beat a child, use a noodle.
Use a string. String.
All right, use a string. Don't beat the children. And I'm like, wow, I've never heard that. Use a string. That's like hilarious. Now, of course, then when he finds out they are a bunch of little punks,
I know.
Like,
then the kid kicks him and runs away.
The kid kicks him, and he's like,
But
you should go after them. They're awful.
But I guess the point is, immediately we learn that this man is kind and compassionate.
Yes, that's right. So that seed is planted. Then we go into the Olsons, and we meet Mr. Larrabee, who is checking a gun.
The town, whenever Little House on the Prairie needs a racist, here comes Larrabee. That is his only purpose in being in any of these episodes, is to be the town racist. It's
nice
hilarious.
Guy in real life.
I'm sure he was a nice guy in real life. He played a racist, fantastic.
In real life, always horrible on Little House on the Prairie. Horrible person.
That's so funny. Where's the town racist? There's Larrabee. Okay.
There's Larrabee.
And so Isaac and Aaron, his son Aaron, bring in the coffin, and Larrabee starts right off with, "Here come the Hebes."
Heaps.
Here come the Hebes. Hold your nose and hang on to your wallet. Well, I mean, if you're talking about a trope,
I mean,
thing to say.
it is so overt, just straight out of the gate, man. Like, my jaw actually dropped open. I knew that I'd seen this episode many, many times, and I remembered it very fondly, but I did not remember that first line like that. And I was dumbfounded. I was like, "Oh, they're going there straight off the bat."
Well, and this is
5 minutes in. We are not 5 minutes in,
No.
and he is going blah.
This is like minute
right
2.
in the mercantile.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And look, we know that this was the way Michael crafted stories on Little House. He wanted to make it abundantly clear
Yes.
what was at stake here.
Yes.
And within a minute and a half exactly where we're going.
Yep.
Here,
Yep.
which is really important.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad about it. It was just
Right. No, but it is surprising.
It actually made me think, like, could they have done that today? It's so it's
I don't think
so
anyone would
overt.
today.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
shocking then. This is over 50 years ago, practically.
Yeah.
And he just kept saying, and Mrs. Olson is like,
Horrible.
And I'm like, oh,
Horrible.
shit.
And
Yes.
Nels, this is when I kind of want to kick Nels in the seat of the pants a little bit of like, speak up, Nels. Like, don't just be quiet and upset and let it and sweep it under the carpet.
Yeah,
Please
no,
say
of course,
something.
but you've got to let this have some place to go.
Absolutely.
You've got to let it have some
Absolutely.
place to go. So that
Yeah.
structurally, you're going to leave that alone. But you can definitely see there's no doubt that Nels is not happy about.
Oh, no,
this
no.
laughter.
He's very upset.
Oh, he gets
yeah.
one in.
He does
because
get one in.
When fabulous Isaac says, "Oh, may his teeth," again, I'm writing to his quotes are just insane.
know.
May his teeth all fall out except one, and in that one he should get a toothache. I'm like, this is the weirdest curse anyone's ever put on
It's
anybody.
so Jewish.
It's bonkers. And he sees this, and everyone turns and looks, and then Nels goes, bah! And
Yeah.
totally laughs louder than Harriet.
It's great. It's a great line.
like
But
just
also
lovely.
Nels then says like he is the best woodworker in all of
Right.
Hero
Yes.
Township.
Right.
And then Harriet sort of is like, well, yeah, and that's the only reason why we let him in the store because he makes good coffins. Dear God, it's just so
Lady.
awful. And then Larrabee and his kids, right, leave the store because
Yes.
they don't want to be
Right.
in the same
Right.
store.
They don't want to be
with
in the same
this
space,
man.
presumably.
Horrible.
Or they're too good to be in the space with
Yeah.
with Isaac and his son. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Or
when he
anyone
says,
who's
"May
used
his
to that.
teeth, may all of his teeth fall out except for one, and may he have a toothache in that one."
Because in
So
other
good.
episodes, he can't be in the store with black people or Indians.
I
He
mean,
picks one.
Oh,
that's
right.
Larrabee.
Okay.
This guy,
Wow.
Okay, so next.
Yes.
Oh, well,
Okay, so we're out on the road.
Also, let's give Garvey a shout out because he also,
Yeah.
I mean, so is this the next scene? Am I skipping?
No,
ahead?
no. Well, the next scene is we're out on the road. Isaac and Aaron are riding back to the farm, and Isaac is reading a letter from his cousin. Well, he's from cousin Rachel, and we find out that in New York, cousin Ezra and his wife have found a girl for Aaron,
Yeah.
Isaac's son, to marry.
Very
And
traditionally 1800s. You got to
Yes.
like, do you know someone?
Right.
And your
What does she
family
like?
goes,
What does she look like?
Right.
Yeah.
He
What
also
kind-
is
does
like,
she have
there
a
isn't
nice
another
figure?
Jew. Yeah, I know that one too.
that sort of
That was great.
that sort of surprised me that question would be that overt, but okay.
Wouldn't you ask it if you were gonna marry someone you've never met or seen
Ever?
before?
You
Ever?
know nothing.
I might have just asked, is she pretty?
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
right.
He says,
right.
yes,
She
she
pretty?
has a lovely face. She's very pretty. She's this.
She comes from a good family, says Isaac.
Right.
You know why they said that line? Do you know why I said that line? Because this is a Michael Landon humor moment. He says, "Does she have a good figure?" And Isaac says, "How should I know? What am I, her tailor?"
Right.
Michael Landon joke at number 347.
Yeah.
So that he
Yeah.
could tell that joke. Yeah. So what am I, her
So
tailor?
good.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so good. And so culturally Jewish. Again, like even just that kind of response is so culturally Jewish, that particular kind of Jewish humor.
Sure.
Is so fabulous. Great. I also love
So-
that Aaron's like, what am I supposed there isn't a Jew for 500 miles. Like,
Right.
I have to go back.
Right. Exactly. and Aaron's going to go, but Isaac will not go because he will not leave his deceased wife, who was buried there in Walnut
And the way
Grove.
he said that line too was absolutely
Yeah.
hard. He said, "I can't
Well,
go.
he's just
You know,
lovely.
Mama's here," and it's just
Then
lovely.
Yeah, and we come to the Disney covered bridge, so this is at Golden
love
Oaks
this
Ranch.
bridge.
Love that bridge.
Famous Disney location, sort of near Santa Clarita.
Yep.
It's actually not even. It's on the way to Santa Clarita, and you turn
right
off
there,
on
right
the what is it? Is it not the 2? It's the
It's
to 14.
And it's like Golden Oak. It's like the X. It's Golden Oak Ranch this
There you
way.
go. Yeah.
Yeah,
But this
and-
was, so much stuff that Disney did years and years ago was shot at Golden Oaks Ranch, and we've seen it. We've seen this location in our lives over the place in every conceivable kind of program. So
It always felt very special when it showed up on Little House. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, the
Yeah.
bridge. Yeah.
Well,
the
sort
bridge.
of just sort of so not in the character of the land that we're generally in, because it's always wonderfully manicured and green and mowed and all that around it, and the pretty trees all perfectly done. But it's a wonderful atmosphere.
Yeah, it's great.
No question. I thought it was sort of fun. They crossed the bridge. I thought it was sort of fun that he's driving El Manzo's buckboard.
Oh, hello, right? There's a lot of other people's stuff.
Yeah, everyone drove
I
this
would never.
buckboard. This
I would have
buckboard was
never
everywhere.
known that. But
Yeah.
you know that. That's
Yes.
a fun fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So, back at the house, Aaron is packing. He feels guilty about it. They go out. They're out in a field. Aaron decides he will not go. And of course, Isaac says, you must go and have children so that he will be cared for. You'll be cared for when you get old.
Right.
Future.
So I think there's some common sense in that.
Yeah.
In that.
And that, the whole relationship with men and women, even though it's the 1800s and, things were like, but he said, no, you're not really a man until you unite with a woman.
Right.
Until you are married and you have a relationship with a woman, you're not really a
man, right.
That's adulthood. Right. That's when you really grow up and learn about that. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty forward for the 1800s. Like, awesome.
And I think having lived a little bit, I think that's until you live in a world where you learn to compromise and you learn that there are different points of view about the world we live in and how things should be done. You can't really be, you can't be really fully a person until you embrace other points of view. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just can't be. So I think that's a nice message, actually.
Yeah.
A nice message in the episode. So Aaron is going to go. They go back we start on the acorn in the windowsill again, returning to the acorn in the windowsill. At the exterior of the house, as they pull back, there's Isaac and Aaron hugging goodbye. Aaron walks away. Go with God, my son, he says, as his son walks away. And go with God, my son, cutting immediately to young Albert Ingalls
Here we
running
go.
to Isaac's shop.
Sweet.
And
little
Albert steps in as Isaac works. Albert gives Isaac money for a chair that he's made for the Ingalls. Now, I thought this was sort of interesting. Again, serving the plot, because
Serving
Charles
the
is a
plot.
craftsman too.
Charles makes chairs all the time.
He
Charles
takes
is always
chairs, he
making
makes
things.
cabinets, he makes
Right.
tables, he makes all
Probably
these
make a
things.
coffin if he had to. Yes. But
Serving the story. If that's
Serving
the
the
one
story.
thing we must say practically every week is
Yes.
throw those questions out the window. It's just here to serve the story.
Yeah, it's serving the story.
Maybe he was busy.
Kind.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was
literally,
busy.
when Albert goes to talk to him, he's got the lathe going and he's literally like making a chair leg while he's. But it's
Well, he's drilling. Yeah. No, exactly. When he comes to ask him if he
yeah,
can, yes.
but he wanted, I guess, a certain kind. I'm going to go with that.
Right. Yeah. Maybe Charles made more rough-hewn chairs and Isaac
Yes.
made more beautifully crafted chairs, but
did.
I don't know the answer. Well, I think he did make more beautifully crafted. If you look at the coffins that he's making,
Yeah.
they're really beautifully made. They talk about woodworking a little bit. They talk about knives versus chisel. Albert is embarrassed to show Isaac some of his carving. It's And Isaac says something very important. Never be ashamed of what you've done, only what you haven't done.
This whole episode is like, write down these quotes, baby, because they are the best life lessons ever. I know, and so moving.
Yes.
Don't be ashamed. Never be ashamed of what you've done, only what you haven't done.
That's right.
And Michael humor, you won't please don't laugh when he shows him his whistle. He goes, why? Does it tell jokes?
Right.
That is a very Michael joke. Oh my God, that's such a Michael joke.
I can hear Michael's voice all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go.
You know what's so interesting about that? Obviously, I never met Michael Landon, but I could also hear his voice in it. Like, you could tell what he did on this show gave us such an insight as to who he was. Obviously, not every aspect of who he was, but
are you talking about the series as a whole, or this
the series
specific
as a
episode?
whole? He really, we got a sense of who Michael Landon was.
Totally.
Just his ethics, his morals, his, all of it. So in an episode like this, I also heard Michael Landon's voice, even though I never met Michael Landon before, ever.
Yeah. Well, Pamela, you've watched episodes again and again and again. I mean, you know his voice.
I know his work.
Yeah, no, you know his work.
I know his
and
work.
For Allison and me, and for anybody in our company who spent so much time around him, and Allison, you spent a lot more time with him than I did through the years. These kinds of moments jump off the page.
Totally.
This show was so personal for him. Little House on the Prairie, the show, was personal for him. There's endless episodes and endless moments where Michael is like, as I said, it was therapy. He was finding a way to get paid to go to therapy.
Totally.
He was working out endless personal issues of childhood conflicts. It's like, that'll make a good episode. And he was just working them all out in front of all of America. And it was brilliant. And it worked.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yes, it did work. It did work. So Isaac, after checking out the whistle and thinking it's really nice
Pretty
work,
good.
of course, comes right to the point and asks Albert if he'd like to be an apprentice.
A paid apprentice, mind you.
A paid apprentice. And Albert, being the good son that he is, I must ask my father. And he says, of course. And they eat, because you've got to have an apple, or you're having something to eat.
You got to offer some food. That's a thing.
That's a thing.
Yeah. So he goes home and he asks Pa, and here's Pa working an auger. So he's drilling into something as Albert asks him if he can apprentice for a craftsman who makes wooden furniture. It's just sort of an interesting moment to think about.
I'm sure Pa's woodwork was very basic, and I'm sure
functional.
Mr.
Very
Singerman's
functional.
was he was a craftsman. He wasn't just I can make a table and a chair. He was a craftsman. It was a craft. Yes, that he would have to apprentice with. I mean, even Pa says apprentice. That's
hard
like
work.
That's a big deal. Yeah, it's hard work.
He thinks it's great because he knows how good the
and it's a trade.
If the kid apprentices for him, my God, he'll have a career.
That's right.
Although he
good.
does say he thought you wanted to be a farmer, but Albert says hedging his bet. It'd be good to learn another trade as well. So I think that's sort of forward thinking of Albert.
Charles Ingalls was in real life, in history, if you read about Laura, Charles Ingalls was kind of a terrible farmer, and they almost starved many times. He just really wasn't terribly good at this.
Yeah.
He always planted the wrong stuff at the wrong time. People told him there were locusts. He went, what? Did not. And when they moved to town, when you get into a little town on the prairie and all that stuff, they get into DeSmet. What did he do? He had a store. He was a carpenter. And he made furniture, and he sold furniture, and he had a store. And when he did that, they had plenty to eat, and they even bought like an organ for the living room and stuff.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
In real life, he's going, yes, you should totally have another gig, because in real life, Charles Ingalls wasn't very good.
So Albert says, when he says, and this is sort of a sweet moment too.
Yeah.
It would be nice to learn a second trade, I think, and Pa completes the idea, and maybe he could use some company, because Pa knows that Aaron has gone to New York, and and Albert completes that idea by saying, there's just something about this man, and I think we can, anybody who's watching sees, yes, there is something about this man that's very special.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this next scene, I absolutely love the lesson of this little scene. So Albert is with Mr. Singerman. They're
No, yes, with Mr. Singerman, they go to Mr. Brower's farm, right.
and they go to the grumpy old man's house who
guy.
ruined his cane by smacking the child with it.
Right.
And he says, I've been looking for. He brings him a brand new cane, a beautifully crafted cane, and he says, "Oh, I see you have this bucket here. I've been needing a bucket. Would you mind trading me the bucket for this cane?"
Yeah. Would you trade me that like $2 beat-up bucket
rusty
for this $100 gorgeous designer cane I just made?
Right, exactly.
Right.
And they make the trade, and
well, even Brower looks at the bucket, looks at
like,
the
are
cane,
you crazy?
knows that what is this I'm being offered here, but he can't resist.
And when he gets back on the wagon, Albert says, "Why did you take this stupid, like, rusty, busted up bucket?" And his response was, because when you give someone something, you have to make sure that they don't feel ashamed about it. So by doing the trade, it meant that he was also giving something, so that it wasn't just, for sympathy or just charity. He needed a cane. He broke the cane. He needed a cane. I gave him the cane, but it's most important for someone that you are giving something to, not to feel shameful about taking it. Which, again, just the compassionate philosophy is so, and these tiny little lessons that are like dropped in every single scene of this episode is quite extraordinary.
Yeah.
And he even talks about the concept of compassion in Rachmaninoff.
Yes, that's it.
Rachmaninoff says it's compassion, and this is one of our things that we do. We have to because Albert's kind of like, this guy's kind of a jerk, and you just gave him a cane. Why?
Right. Why'd you do that?
The guy needs a cane, and what, I'm going to make him beg for it. Come on. And it's just, makes total sense. It's another one. Oh, that's a good idea.
Right.
So after that act of kindness, Pamela, we immediately step into another moment of hatred here.
The town racist Larrabee. Whenever they need a racist, in comes Larrabee. Yes, and he's talking to Pa and saying
he's yelling. Pa is 6 inches away, and this guy is yelling at the top of his lungs, like in his face.
And he's yelling, why are you hanging around with that old Jew? I mean, the slander and it's just so very awful. And Pa's trying to ignore it and turn the other cheek.
Well, he just said he has my permission to be there.
Yeah, he has my permission. Yeah. Larrabee, classic racist. Your kid shouldn't be mixing with the Hebes. Ingalls family has gone Jew crazy.
Jew crazy, God almighty.
And then he says, he says it's okay to be prejudiced against Jews because it's self-defense.
Is that so? That's
wild.
How he said it. It's okay to be prejudiced.
No, he said it's okay to be prejudiced against. He says, I even wrote it down. Ain't nothing wrong with being prejudiced against Jews. It's self-defense. That's what he says.
Against what?
Because I suppose that I don't know how I don't know how Jews are supposed to be threatening to them, but that's the trope, right? Like, listen, this goes back thousands of years. These wild stereotypes and these wild tropes, and it goes on and on and on. So this is just one of them. But I love that he says it to Garvey, and Garvey says, I'm prejudiced too. And then he gets super excited. Like, you are? Awesome. Yes, he loves high five. Yeah. He's like, give me a high five. He's like, you are against what? And he says, against short redneck farmers. Come on, Garvey. That's why we all love the Garvey. Yes, his hot factor just skyrocketed after that one. Come on.
Now, I have to ask, as an actor, because we all knew, and this horrible man,
Larrabee,
who was on Little House like 7 times,
always has the racist.
He knew Michael Landon really well. I believe he'd been on Bonanza. I mean, so he totally knew it. So he knew perfectly well that Michael Landon was Jewish. He knew perfectly well that he was Eugene Orowitz, and he is 6 inches from Michael Landon, who of course is the director and his boss at this point, near his face, and is shouting at the top of his lungs about all Jews. I know that if it was acting, I would have loved to have seen the outtakes. Was this difficult? even I, with like the terrible things, I would have gone, okay, I just like, do I have to look at you when I'm saying this?
Yeah, that's
I would
tough.
have balked at yelling that right in Michael Landon's face.
Yes.
And yet he bravely soldiers on and does it. And I just can imagine after they said cut, the things Michael Landon would have said and the shtick that would have
Yes,
gone
right.
on.
No, that would have been a
he
rare
would have
moment.
that up. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
speaking of terrible, here I
Yes.
come.
Oh, here you come. Let's talk. You go ahead,
You
Allison.
suck so
Talk about
hard.
this.
Okay, go.
I'm so horrible in this. This is one of those. This is another one. Episodes where I hate me. This is.
Yeah.
I'm so. Yeah, I remember even when I got the script, I went, "Oh no,
It's just so
okay,
obtuse.
here
But,
we
like,
go."
there's no subtlety in any of the racism
No,
in this episode
none.
at all.
And even when I watched it, I went, "Ah, yikes!" I am not on screen 0.00.2 seconds and come bounding up to Albert with the two creepy boys, the two horrible boys.
Yes.
And I said, Jew lover, okay, yeah, Jew boy.
Oh my God.
And then he says he's not Jewish, and I'm going, well, he's not, but he could be. What? Hello? What the? And then I start thinking, we don't know his parents are. He's probably Jewish. Like, geez, Louis.
It's rough.
Hamana.
Yeah. Yes, it's rough.
And then, of course, they start talking about the horns. That the Jews have
Yes.
horns on their. Apparently, this was a thing in the 1800s, and I think it was even like around the 30s. Jews have horns.
It was
on
around when I was growing up.
I've
that
had
Jews
very
have
old
horns.
people tell me, "Oh yeah, no, I've been."
Well, so this is a long historical
yeah.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yes, the horns, and that's why he wears a hat. Not that it's like for religious reasons, or the guy maybe is bald and likes a hat. No.
Yep.
It has to be that he's horns. And I was saying, it really is a nice hat, actually.
Yeah.
But yes, horns.
Yeah.
This was a thing. And
Yes, the horns
we-
could fit very nicely under his hat.
We go
Yes.
there. We insult Albert. We hate Jews, and we even invoke the horrendous horn story, which
Yeah.
is like, oh, we're going there. Oh, I this was the cringe script of cringe scripts that I.
You know what else is interesting about this is that Laura also sort of her defense is he's not a Jew. Why do you keep calling that? He's not Jewish, which was really,
she's not.
and then we'll get to a scene later with her also, but
exactly.
it was an interesting twist of she's defending her brother, but also because she's upset that they might even think that he's Jew. I mean, it's really fascinating. And I think it's cool that they wrote it in this episode to have that kind of internal fight with yourself.
Right.
Of feeling bigoted but not wanting to be, but it's there.
Yeah.
We'll get to the dinner table later.
Yes,
But really,
The table's a zoo.
yeah, that's
but I think I think this was really brilliant.
Smart.
That you make this character I mean, by that time in the series' run, Melissa is one of the most beloved young actresses in America.
Yeah.
She had the #1 cue on television at a certain point. I mean, she was so well known, so respected, so loved by people that then to put this message or create this ambiguity with that character was a very powerful choice.
Yes.
That had to freak people out. That was yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and she learned the lesson, which was the point, I suppose.
Yes,
but
of course.
It was just fascinating that it was coming from her character,
Yes.
and also totally human. I mean,
Yes.
totally.
Panicked.
Yes.
I don't recall any specific direction, because you're going to say, well, what on earth did Michael say? I do not recall getting any specific direction saying, now, okay, when you do this, there was no discussion. I'd read the script, we ran it once. He was just kind of like,
Do your thing.
Because he knew I would give it my worst, as you'd see.
Give it my worst.
And as soon as we ran one and I did it, I was like, Jews. He was like, yep, okay, yeah, cut print. There was no discussion. It was just like, she's gonna do that.
Well, what's so fascinating at the end of that scene is you literally are curious, because you do go up to Albert and say, Albert, does he have horns?
Yeah.
And Albert's like, I don't know. He never takes off his hat. I mean, it's really like they're genuinely, yes, she's accusing him of having horns, but then she's also genuinely curious if he actually does. Really interesting.
Well, I mean, she and Willie both get Albert curious.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's what we're going to see here,
Right.
is that suddenly he's wondering. He
and
doesn't
he has the
know.
weird childlike innocence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
He's not talking about it as an insult. He's going, "Wow, does
Does he
guy
have
horns?
horns? Yeah, right.
Can people have horns?"
Right. Yeah.
So all right. So Nellie goes off into school. Albert is thinking. Cut to the shop. So Albert is thinking that's the end of Act 1. Starting Act 2, we're in the shop. Isaac and Albert are working, and here we have, I think, this cue, this run of musical cue that David Rose wrote for this has such a wonderful. It's powerful because it's dark, and it's uncertain. It's like David was so brilliant at being able to channel emotion through this. So Albert's asking some very difficult questions, and they are ugly questions because you know where it's going. And yet he takes you right there.
Yeah.
He takes you right there to it.
This whole episode, David Rose is just slamming it.
Great
Music.
score.
The traditional Jewish violin sounds.
I mean, the opening credits is
riffing
this
on old folk tunes.
Yes.
And it's
It's a great score. It's
so
a
good.
great and unique. What's so interesting is, to your point, Allison, he is stepping into this traditional sound, and he's able to weave it. He weaves it beautifully into his Little House themes too, at different points in the episode. So he's turning us back into the heart of Little House as we understand it, as he's also painting pictures emotionally of dark, of fear, of hate, of anxiety, all these things, and then he's bringing us back to goodness all the time. So it's a very clever score. So in this scene, Albert is just sort of going fishing here.
But that nice hat, you take it off. Oh, check the label and all this stuff. Yeah. And the guy is like, Grandpa thinks it's hilarious. Basically, he thinks it's a hoot. This whole thing, like, oh my God, the kid's going.
Well, he
crazy.
finally asks, "Do you have horns?"
Yes, do you have horns? He
Flat out.
plain asks him. He thinks it's hilarious.
He thinks it's funny.
And he says, "We don't have horns. We cover our heads to remind us that man is no big shot. There is something above him
Religion.
to always remind us of." Yeah.
So Pamela, when you're saying there's something, and this was his dialogue, there is something above him. Is this to say that what we need protection from something
No, I
above
don't think
us?
it's not protection,
What's the inference there?
Yeah, I mean, listen, and I'm no scholar or anything, but from what I do know, it's just it's just to be honorable. It's just to honor whatever is.
Okay, so it's an issue of respect. It's a respect. It's not protection. It's a respect.
It's a reminder to know that there's
God's
something greater
presence.
out there, and that what he says, we're not big shots. There is a greater something out there, and it's just a reminder.
Continuous reminder of God's presence.
That's
it's like,
right.
Well, and the ladies who go to church in various religions, ladies will put to cover their head,
Right.
like a little doily. You wear a hat to church.
Yep.
There are many, many different religions that talk about you cover your head if in church in the presence of God. And in the Jewish religion, you have the yarmulke and hats. It's we remind ourselves
respect.
that God's right there all the time. So that's what the thing.
Yeah,
That's with hats.
that's all it is.
I mean that totally makes sense. That's.
Yeah.
But it was just something about the way he said that. There is something above him. I just thought that was an interesting what that could mean. But of course, it's a respect issue. It's about respect. So
Well,
Albert
it's not
seems
just respect,
satisfied.
it's a humbling as well.
A humbling, right?
Yeah.
It's a humbling and a respect. Also, I love that he ends the scene going "mishigas," which in Yiddish means crazy. It's crazy. He's laughing about the kids. Yeah, about the horns. Okay, next scene.
So Albert seems satisfied with that, and we cut to the Ingalls house. This is the scene. Yeah, this is a
iconic.
huge
I
scene.
mean, this scene is whoa.
Everything in the scene is like
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to take it? Dean, you take it.
No, I think no. I No, please, you.
Me?
Yeah,
All right.
and
Well,
Phil.
they're around the table. Everyone's around the table.
I mean, I can take us through the chronology of it, but I want you to talk about it.
Okay, yeah, we'll take us through the chronology of it, and then we'll discuss.
So Albert starts. So it's just like Albert is recounting to the family dinner that I was scared at first. Just he was so Pa. In first, well, he's just like the devil, huh? Maybe he has these horns. And Albert, he laughed. Isaac laughed, and then Laura. First moment, I don't see why you have to spend so much time with that old man. Well, I like him. Well, it seems like you're the only one who does. Nobody likes Jews, and that's the turn.
Holy moly!
She's like, nobody likes Jews.
It's so wild, and also again so human. I mean, it's
little girl.
She's a little girl with zero experience of I mean, and despite her father being her father and her mother being her mother and growing up, it's still these things creep up on you, and anyone can fall victim to, as innocent as it might be, but some sort of bigotry or prejudice.
Well, and then she explains it. So he asks her, what kind of talk is that? And she says, it's true that people, that a lot of people don't like him. And so here's where it gets personal.
Totally.
Is I get made fun of too just because I'm his sister. So it's like, this isn't just an isolated thing. It's not just Albert being questioned, but I'm being questioned. And I don't like that, is what she's essentially saying. So Pa, with the lesson, so rather than being made fun of, you go along with the rest of them and dislike someone just because they're a Jew. And her answer is, well, I don't dislike him. And his answer, and I'm sorry to be quoting directly, but the dialogue is really important. Half pint, if you don't speak up to people, bigots, then you're no better than they are. Worse, in fact, because you know it's wrong and you allow them to think you feel the same way they do. It's it's probably as direct and harsh a chastising of any of his children that we see Charles do anywhere in the series. It's a pretty strong rebuke of that comment.
And
finish your supper.
The worst part of it is his dismissive finish your supper at the end, because he doesn't look at her in the eye. He looks down, and he is so disappointed and disgusted with her that finish your supper is almost harsher than the speech that he just gave her.
I felt like when he said finish your supper, the subtext was, and I should be sending you to bed without supper.
Right.
Honestly, you're lucky I'm letting you finish your supper.
Agreed.
Because you should be grounded for 3 weeks and not have supper and double chores because you are in so much trouble, young lady. That was the tone.
Pamela, I love your observation about, and of course,
it's so
I
brutal.
watch it. He doesn't look at her.
He doesn't even look at her.
It's
so
powerful.
Dismissive. It is so dismissive. It's his disgust in her in that moment. We've never seen him like this before with Laura. Or I think this is the only time that this has ever happened with her, where he's
been in a lot of
so
trouble,
truly, she's been in, but this is like on a different type. This is a different level. And I also thought, bravo for the writers who wrote the writer who wrote this, because I think this dinner table scene had me gobsmacked, because like I said, it's so just very human, and it's so what little kids need to be taught sitting around the dinner table at home. And, you love Pa even more for all of it. But the lesson here is so... And also her feeling of, but he's my brother and I'm getting it too just because I'm it's so what a little kid would do and feel.
Of course.
But, we don't hate her for it. It's just what kids would do.
Yeah.
No, it's an amazing scene.
Yeah, no, it is an amazing scene. It's the biggest moment in the episode.
It really
frankly.
is.
I mean, on that theme,
yes,
that's the biggest moment in the episode. And I think, as we talked about earlier, using Laura to amplify that moment, to make Laura the one who is chastised, is incredibly powerful. That's a huge choice that they made
because it could have been it could have been like a townie kid that we never see again.
Sure.
And that they use the lesson on this child who will then enter the vortex of one-hit wonders who's never seen again in Walnut Grove.
It's generally the kind of lesson that if that were to happen with that kid who's going to enter the vortex, it would be Laura who's delivering the lesson.
Totally.
Right. It's Laura who's like, hey, now, because my birthday. But in this one, Laura has fallen down on the job.
Totally.
She is not doing the usual, hey,
Well, it's personal for her. It's deeply personal for her.
Right.
And they've made it personal because instead of having the kid who screws up and does this be somebody else, they brought it in. They made it Laura.
Yeah.
And they made
I love that they did it.
Laura. And that just took it and made it like, this episode isn't about other people. But it's telling the audience, this episode is about you being mean.
It's about
people,
everybody.
Like by making Laura the subject.
Yeah,
Wow.
and even how upset she was at the thought that maybe he was Jewish. They don't know. He was right? Like, and her being so disturbed by even that idea. It was fascinating to me that they used Laura as the example for this, and I'm really glad that they did.
Well, it just makes the message so important.
Totally.
Yeah, it really makes it important. So, but immediately this is redeemed.
Yes.
Because in the next moment, as we see Laura and Albert walking to school, Laura says, first line out of her mouth, "I'm sorry for what I said last night." And Albert, wonderfully, Matt is just so great in this. He's just wonderful. And the way he says, "I know," he knows. And you know from the way he says it, there's no question he knows that she's sorry.
Right.
He absolutely knows it. It's just what you hear kids say. You don't have to explain anything.
She says, thanks for not hating me.
Right. Hate is for people like the Larrabees. I got better things to do.
Yeah.
Larrabees.
Yeah.
Larrabees.
Yeah. Me too. All right. So I got better things to do. Me too. They're good. And now we see Nellie and Willie coming out of the mercantile. Okay, and you've got this one.
So again, horrible. Now, I should know. And so, indeed, Albert sees a great shining moment here.
He really does.
The eternal prankster. Again, Michael Landon, eternal prankster. I'm seeing the wheels turning in his head when this whole thing happens. He just, hey, Nellie, and Laura's like, why? Why are we talking to that way? Why are you even going over there? Like,
she has no idea what's going on. Yes.
No, it's going to be bad. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes. No, he totally has horns. Absolutely. And starts telling them this insane thing. Yeah, enormous horns and the thing, and they shrink back and weaves this. And Laura's just going, what in the world?
Yeah, her look to him is like, shocking. And that look, it's a single. It's totally for the audience. It's like cinematically, Nellie and Willie aren't seeing that look.
No.
I mean, that just because if we knew they saw, they'd have to respond to that. What do you mean? What's wrong with you? But it's Laura's response. It's an internal response. I can't believe, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're saying. And on we go.
Spinning this insane yarn about there. And now, now we know that Melissa Gilbert's family is Jewish. Michael Landon is Jewish. Jonathan Gilbert, this was, because it's 79, so I'm like doing the math, 12, okay. He's like not had his bar mitzvah yet, but like studying for it. He stayed a long time for it. Yeah. I went to Jonathan Gilbert's bar mitzvah. It was a big party.
Did Jonathan actually study for his bar mitzvah?
You have to study to get bar mitzvah.
I get it, but I mean, did he really do it?
That's what blew everyone away.
You mean, did he actually learn what he was supposed to learn?
Big party at the Beverly Hills Hotel after. I sat next to Sid Caesar. Caesar at Jonathan Gilbert's bar mitzvah. It was like, it's amazing.
That's insane.
And little Jonathan is so sweet. And he gets up and he's like, totally. He's up there reading the thing. And we're going, when did he learn to do this? And he's like, he's letter perfect. He's like just hitting it. And we're like, this is amazing. And then the rabbi gets up and makes a speech. He goes, I just want you to know.
Oh, God.
I normally don't jump in at this point, but I just want everyone to know.
Oh, no.
I do a lot of bar mitzvahs. I have many, many students. Jonathan is really, honestly, one of my best students ever. He said when our young bar mitzvah candidates do this, very often they read the piece in phonetic. We put it out in English in the phonetic sounds.
That's cheating.
Words.
Not my temple.
They can
they
say
didn't do that for us.
Only some of the students actually learn the full Hebrew and the Hebrew letters to read it in full Hebrew. I want you to know that Jonathan just read this in actual original Hebrew. He studied for months and is one of my best students I've ever had. And read this in Hebrew. No cheating, no nothing.
Nice.
Perfectly, spot on, not one mistake. And everybody went nuts because we all know Jonathan was like pretending to be dumb in school, which was like the biggest hoax ever.
Right.
Smartest, so whip that boy. So Jonathan did a bar mitzvah and yes, read it completely in Hebrew correctly. And then we went to a big party at the Beverly Hills
I mean,
Hotel.
not to brag or anything, but I did too. So
you did it right.
yeah, well, that's what you're supposed to do. That's why you have years of education before you get bar mitzvah.
How long does that training go on?
Years, because you have to learn Hebrew, so it takes
school.
years. I mean, you're in Hebrew school for years.
Several months intensive program leading up to it because you got a performance to put on. You got to show basically. You gotta
it's a lot of work and it takes years.
So he was going to Hebrew school and he was really good at this. But see, you got Jonathan, of course, who's seen to many people as Willie, who's not too bright.
Yeah.
And who was a child actor getting 3 hours school a day.
Yeah, totally.
And who was pretending to not be able to read English, let alone Hebrew, to try to get out of doing work. And was famously... So
Smart.
this was a kid
He's a smart
whose
kid.
reputation was not some great scholar. And so the rabbi was like, nope.
Yeah.
nope,
Hey, he did it. Yeah,
He did it.
Hebrew,
He
real
did it.
folks, really, my best student. And
That's
everybody, of course,
crazy.
all the parents and grandparents went wild. And but I sat next to Teacher Jonathan Gilbert's bar mitzvah.
That's crazy,
The
Allison.
child who's in Hebrew school and is the best student and is studying for his bar mitzvah is doing this whole scene about, oh, he's got horns. So, again, Academy Award performance, please.
Right,
Thank you.
because in this scene, Albert is like, yes, he totally has horns. I caught him. He was polishing the horns when I walked in.
And they
on
were
him.
big horns.
They were huge. They were big
This
horns.
big, yeah.
And he tells them, no, you can come and see them yourselves. Come after
So
school.
Willie asked the question, how does he get them inside his
The
hat?
hat, right.
They're so big.
They
Yeah.
And-
shrink back down because he's a magical Jew. Magical, yes.
Of course, it's
Right.
a button.
It's like the Mary Poppins bag. They just
Yeah. So Wilbur, Albert asked, "Do you want to see him yourself? Come on out to the farm. Come out to Mr. Sugarman's place after school." Willie says, "I'm too scared." Interestingly, Nellie
Singerman,
says
not
you're too
Sugarman.
scared too, which is that reaction sort of surprised me. That they're
Why?
too scared. That's so, I don't know. It
Because
seems
they're
like
supposed to be
they're
devil
always up for
horns.
something that's sort of
yes,
risky.
but if it's
But
devil
I am,
horns.
Apparently, Nellie is terrified of the supernatural or anything woo. Because remember the haunted house?
Yes.
When we had to go up and touch the haunted house. But we were even daring people to go touch haunted. But we weren't going to go up and touch a haunted house. And as soon as Laura pulled the prank that made it look like, yes, there really was a ghost, we were like, gone, see ya. All that stuff with Mrs. Olson's, head on the platter and the head on the... Apparently, Willie and Nellie were terrified of ghosts, magic, people with magic disappearing horns, things of the supernatural. Apparently, that's how you scared Nellie and Willie. We were scared of that was our kryptonite.
That was your
We were
thing.
scared of the
Right,
supernatural.
right.
There you go.
Right.
There you go. Yeah.
So-
interesting.
And they also say, like,
Revolver.
is Laura going? And Albert, before Laura can even say anything, because she's in total, like, what is happening right now? Albert's like, no, she's a fraidy cat, but you're not, Nellie, which is exactly the trigger
Double
that she needs to be
dog,
like,
dare me.
yes, I will go. Yes.
Daring me?
And they head off to school, and then Albert lets Laura in on the.
Because Laura's like, what?
Yeah, and that he needs her help to help scare
Right.
the pants off of them. So now Laura's in. She's like, oh, yeah.
So good. So good.
So now we cut to, and of course Laura says, "You bet I will," and they're good. So it's like, okay, they're in on it together. We go to Mr. Sugarman's farm. Albert, Nellie, and
Not
Willie
Sugarman.
sneaking.
Not
Singerman.
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 Yeah, Bert
sorry,
Sugarman.
not
Singerman, I
Bert
know.
Sugarman. Yes,
Hollywood.
Isaac Singerman. So, going to Mr. Singerman's farm, Albert, Nellie, Willie creeping through the grass to get there, and we cut to Laura, who has, as they pass the barn, we cut to Laura, who has these deer horns. It's
Deer
like
antlers.
what does it look like? It looks like
Antlers.
like a 6-point buck or something.
That's
it's,
right.
And it's the Lake Kezia monster antler.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Recycling.
Yes.
She's got the freaking Lake Kezia monster antlers. It's like the antler story all over again.
You're
with the
right.
antlers.
Oh, my
And I'm
gosh.
like, I was also, again, kind of jaw on the floor. We're taking this Jews have horns things all the way.
Sure
all
are.
the way to where we're doing pranks with antlers. Ah! I was kind of freaked out by this, but yeah. Okay.
So Albert invites Nellie to open the door, and great. I mean, he could have done it to let her open the door, but he jumps that by having the door swing open before Nellie can actually. So amping up the surprise, and out come the antlers in a side 90s shot. So, because if we're seeing this from Nellie's point of view, they're going to see Laura there, but the way he shoots it,
but
you don't. And so you just get the moment. You get the punch.
And it's dark in there. And it's a jump scare. The door suddenly opens, and there's antlers in my face.
Right.
So I quite properly scream and run.
Run away.
So now, I would have, as I was watching, I'm thinking, this has got to be the end of Act 2. But no, this is the longest second act. This is a huge second act. And there's a lot still to go in this second act. So, because he's trying to get everything wound up so that the end of the third and fourth act, by the time we get to the third and fourth act, we're down to 17 minutes.
Oh, wow.
In the show. I mean, it is a 30-minute second act. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, all right. So they run away. Albert and Isaac so we cut to the interior of the barn. Albert and Isaac are working on a coffin, and it's conversation about, which is going to come back later, the conversation about using nails to make the coffin.
No nails.
Right, and Albert says it would save so much time if you just use nails, and he's like, you can never, a true craftsman never uses nails. And here's the quote of all quotes. Ready?
Okay.
He says, I know you wrote it down in your notes, and I wrote it down in my notes because this is epic. He says, because Albert says it would save a lot of time if you use nails. And he says, time means nothing. Praise means nothing. Competing with others means nothing. What matters is the task in front of you, and you must give it everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually rewound that because I was like, what just happened? And I rewound it and watched it again and went, this episode, man. Holy moly.
This is a common theme also culturally about time?
Yeah, I mean, I think the theme really is, even when
devotion,
but also a humbling of yourself in a sense. When culturally in Judaism, when you give to charity, you give it anonymously. You do not give a name. Because it's not about you; it's about the giving. It's about what it means to give to society, to give to the greater good. So this all sort of is under that umbrella of the other person doesn't matter, competing doesn't matter, getting praise doesn't matter. That's like a credo. Again, when you give charity, it's supposed to be anonymous.
Well, okay. Yeah, and then it follows up with so he's explained all this, and Albert looks at him, and so Isaac has looked at Albert, and Albert sees tears in Isaac's eyes. Why are you crying? And his answer, this is a multi-generational answer. My father cried, his father cried. It's part of making a coffin.
Right.
And Albert responds, well, no one died yet. This one's for the mercantile. And some men don't cry because they fear it's a sign of weakness. I was taught that a man is a man because he can cry. So
hello, Michael Landon.
I didn't read that very well, but yes, some men don't cry. Don't cry because they fear it's a sign of weakness. I was taught that a man is a man because he can cry, and yes, that is
hello. I mean, Pa.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, Pa. Yeah. Hello. That's. How many times have we talked about this? That Michael Landon is the pinnacle of masculinity, and yet he cries virtually every episode. This whole thing of a man doesn't cry, a man doesn't show quote unquote weakness. There's nothing weak about showing vulnerability. It actually makes the person much stronger.
Yeah.
And this is like that's it. That is it. Hello, Michael Landon.
Yeah.
I like that his quote about the craftsmanship and the humility. It's such an acting piece of advice. I mean, can I get that needle pointed on a pillow?
Totally.
The praise does not matter. Time is nothing. Praise is nothing. The awards, the opinions of other people, the competition with others is nothing. You must the task at hand, the work. It is about the work and the thing you are doing now.
And integrity. Right.
That's a huge lesson for any young person to get, for someone of any age. And it's never too late to get that lesson. We can get that lesson anytime, anytime.
Well, because ego can really screw everything up.
Yep.
And we need ego, but not if it overpowers, not if ego is what's controlling. Ego's there for a reason, but not to be the master. And because that's when things get, as the Yiddish would say, fakakta.
Fakakta. We say fakakta in the show, don't they?
I don't know if he says fakakta. He says schnorrer, though. Schnorrer is a big one.
Schnorrer a lot.
He says schnorrer, and I love that they talked about schnorrer, and it came up again, like it was sort of a theme.
It comes up multiple
episode.
times. Yeah.
Oh, right. It's the next thing, because the next thing that happens is Isaac plants an acorn.
Right.
And he says a craftsman must not be a schnorrer. Schnorrer is someone who takes and never gives back.
And never gives back. And he explains that nicely.
Right.
Like,
God provided us with trees for our livelihood. We must plant some in return. Yeah. It's that whole philosophy. But then he grabs his chest and we realize he is not well. And Albert sees it also. And he says, no, I just need some rest. Go home. So we know that Isaac is in trouble. Right?
Yes, and Albert reluctantly leaves him to get himself home, and as he's on his way home, here come those bad Larrabee boys. Albert invites him because he walks through their property, and Zeke and his brother decide that they're going to make Albert pay for that walk, and they're going to go after him. The Jew boy is trespassing. We'll teach him a lesson. And they chase after him, and we don't know what happens until we cut to the interior of the little house. The Ingalls are eating supper. It's just a quiet moment. Albert enters. He's completely beaten up. He's really been thrashed around a little bit. And Albert explains what has happened. It just had a little run-in with who? He says, the Larrabee boys, both of them, Pa says. What made you do a fool thing like that? And this is Michael humor. This answer, totally Michael humor. My legs, they weren't fast enough to get me away. That's totally Michael humor.
You guys?
Well, I guess that moment needed something like that. Otherwise, we'd be afraid that Albert was going to die at any moment because he's so beaten up. So to know that he's okay, he's just really beaten up. And
again, more Michael stuff. You know, we saw that movie, The Loneliest Runner stuff. How many times did people, as Ugi Orowitz as a kid, get beaten up for being Jewish, beaten up for being small, beaten up for being different?
Right.
How many times did this happen? And the whole thing. And you know, his hint to, I didn't run away fast enough. How's my legs? This is classic.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
And also, Laura's seeing all of this.
Yes.
She is processing.
Yeah, she's taking all of this in. This is really important for her. So she's coming on. And that's going to pay off in the next scene where there's a baseball going on and Albert hits a ball. It goes out of the outfield. It's a good hit. Willie throws the ball to second. Albert slides into second. Zeke Larrabee is there. Albert is called safe. Larrabee says he's out. You're lying, you Jew lover, says his brother. Shut up. And then it looks like the Jew boy wants another beating. It really surprised me that now we didn't see him get beaten up the night before, but we know it's the two Larrabee boys. The fact that Albert is willing to slide into second, knowing that Zeke is right there and showing sort of no ill effects of that or no anxiety about that. It's just another moment. Which is sort of an interesting... Yeah. I mean, it's just sort of an interesting take.
Albert had been on the streets.
He's tough.
So
he's a tough kid.
He's not scared of these guys.
He's like, okay, beat me up again. What? Yeah. And then Laura threatens to kill people with a baseball bat.
Right. She learned her lesson. Yes, she is going to stand up to the bigots. Yes. Totally.
Murderous rage. Murderous rage with a baseball bat. Okay, let's go. I'm just going to start busting heads now.
Zeke tells her to stay out of it. I'm a Jew lover too. Unless you want me to knock enough wind out of you to fly a kite, you better get back, she says. And the Larrabee boys back down.
Could we talk about Zeke? So Zeke, the leader of the two, Tony Becker, he has an enormous career. He was on a lot of Western kind of things. It was 8 episodes of The Waltons. He was on Oregon Trail, which was a sort of like trying to like rip off the Little House on the Prairie kind of series. He was on all of this stuff. He 58 episodes of Tour of Duty, is still working. He's on the big hot TV show, The Pit.
No.
Wow.
Who is he?
Go look him up. Tony Becker. Go look up
for
Zeke.
him.
Go to IMDb. Zeke, click Tony Becker. Read his career. He's working now. He is Fabu.
I'm looking right now.
Well, he was pretty terrific in this. I mean, he had a nice swagger about him. I don't know how old he was there. Do you think he was, 12, 13, 14, something like that?
Probably. He's got some major freaking swagger now.
Yeah.
Dude is,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was on The Pit.
He's Tony Becker.
I'm sorry, I'm looking right now.
Awful Zeke is kind of hot. Tony Becker is.
He was on this last season. Yeah, he was a character.
2 years younger than me. So, and this was I was like 16 or something. So 50, 60, so around there. So yes, he's a teenager. He's 2 years younger than me, and I said, fine.
Yeah, there he is.
And and this is him, as known for Private Daniel on Tour of Duty, and he's on The Pit. So let's call him up. Let's get him on the show. Dang.
I think that'd be awesome.
The town racist son.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. That would be interesting to see how that, if that trajectory has stuck in his career. I mean, if he was typed in that way, and I don't know what he did on Tour of Duty, and I don't know what he's done in The Pit in terms of what he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
He's had an illustrious career.
Yeah.
And
nice.
so clearly playing Zeke didn't hurt him. Wow, what a kickoff that he was hideous Zeke and is now that guy. So I think I should call him up.
So and I think it's a great idea. The button of the scene, of course, is that Laura and Albert come together and they share a chuckle, and Laura says to him, "You were out, and he knows it."
Albert's like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, I know, and they laugh. Cut to Doc Baker's office. Isaac's being examined. It's not good news. I love the way he said this. You have bad news, or you're suffering from indigestion. He says
Classic.
to Doc Baker, and then they go through the whole the very.
It's his heart.
Yeah, his heart's not in good shape, and he knows
it's only the 1870s, and there's only so much they can do.
And Doc Baker says you should stop working. He's like, "I'm not stopping working."
Right.
And he says, "You'll live longer." No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And that moment, as Isaac gets up and walks out the door, and Doc Baker's, I think, knowing look. He's concerned, but he also understands where Isaac's coming from.
That's right.
And things are going to play out the way they're going to play out, and that's the end of Act 2. That
Finally.
was a long,
my
long
God.
Act 2.
Let's take a break and then
Yeah.
finish this thing. Okay, we'll be right back.
From the pioneers to the presidents. Explore beautiful wildflowers, hike through iconic Hollywood locations, and end your day aboard the actual Air Force One at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum. Throughout the summer, take the Little House 50th Anniversary Tour at Big Sky Movie Ranch. Less than 15 minutes from Los Angeles and 30 minutes from Universal Studios, Simi Valley has small-town charm with big-time history. Go to visitsimiValley.com for more information. We are so grateful to visitsimiValley.com for their commitment to presenting the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast.
All right, we're back. Now what happens, everybody?
Well,
Now it's in.
so it's about interesting. I'm just getting a little technical thing. We're about 17 minutes of runtime left in the show. So everything has been wound up here and put in place, a long setup, but we are in a race to the end, coming off of what we learned about from Doc Baker, that he's got a very bad heart situation. We start with a Sabbath prayer in Act 3, and Albert asks about the candles. And Pamela, you're probably in the best position to talk about Sabbath and Sabbath prayers.
I mean,
Do you understand what he said? Because I don't understand.
Oh, you're talking about the Hebrew that he's speaking. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just that's a prayer
classic.
that you you say over the candles or Sabbath. Yes. You light candles always, every holiday in Judaism starts at sundown. So part of that is you always light the candles. You say the prayer over the candles. You say whatever other prayers you say. But candles are a big, big, big part of not just the Sabbath, but at any holiday, Jewish holiday. And again, it's to remind us of God's light and to spread light. And
well, the way Isaac says it, it's lovely. He said, on the Sabbath, we ask God to come into our lives and illuminate the darkness we live in, which is an interesting way to put that.
Everything is symbolic, and it's all very, very universal. You know, when I was getting married, and my husband is not Jewish, and we didn't really have a Jewish ceremony, but I really wanted a huppah, which is the canopy, because it's just a very universal symbol of protection and togetherness and unity. And I remember I was having a lot of anxiety because I just wanted to make sure I wasn't offending anybody, and I did. So I actually talked to a rabbi, and I said, I want to have this, but I don't know. I hope everyone's okay with this. And the rabbi just went, why would anyone be possibly offended by that? Like this, these are all universal themes. There's nothing that could offend anyone. And that's what I love about this episode is that yes, all of these sort of metaphors and lessons are stemmed from cultural Jewish, philosophies, but they're so entirely universal that how could you be offended by any of this? And this is just another example of that. So, well, it's a very lovely ritual. That's all.
Yeah, and the conversation so Albert,
I love this conversation.
Yeah, and when you think about, this is a long scene in Little House terms. And it's an ongoing conversation, and I think it speaks volumes about Michael's faith in Matt, his just belief that Matt can be in these moments all the way.
You know what I was thinking watching this scene too is that, it's any other child actor that wasn't as good as Matthew Laborto, this would have been like a sugary, poppy, like sappy, just sort of an icky, cringy scene. And Matt made it so human.
Yes.
He did it in a way that was so believable.
He did everything so believable.
Because I will say, the lines that he had to say, what's it all about, Mr. Singerman? That's not an easy line to deliver. It's just not. I don't know if people actually or would actually talk that way. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But it was written that way, and he made it work.
Sometimes in their scenes, and Michael's like, sometimes you just need to just say the line.
Just say the word. Yeah, and he did.
And Matt knew that sometimes the script being so loaded with stuff, you just kind of had to show up and say the words.
Yeah.
And don't mess with it. Don't screw around.
Do we think that Matt, how old was Matt at that point? Matt was
so little.
Super freaking out.
Do you think he was like 11, 12?
13? What could he have been even that? Was he that 13. That old at that point? This is season 5.
So his first season on the show?
Was season 4.
Okay.
He started in season 4. But he's clearly, but he's, he was a tiny kid when he started in season 4. He's a year older.
His waist is like this.
Sorry, it premiered in January of 1979. This episode.
It was shot in 78. Here.
Right. It would have been shot at the end of 78. Exactly.
He's 12.
He's 12.
Barely 12.
Yeah. I just think that there's a core of authenticity in Matt that instinctually, I think his instinct was so strong to not comment on anything, to not put anything extra on it. And I think Michael saw that and was just like, oh my God, this kid is incredible.
Yep.
And I don't know. No, he's a Hollywood kid. He was raised by an actress. So there's stuff going on at home. There's teaching going on at home. But boy, the lessons, whatever the lessons were, he really learned them.
Yeah. As a kid, But the simplicity, that's the thing. He had all the classes and all of the work he'd been doing, but he just went straight to it.
And in this scene, he questions the existence of God, or not even the existence of God, but if God is so great, why does he let such bad things happen?
Right. Isn't this a question everyone asks?
That's
right. Of course.
Bad things happen to good people.
Yes.
Right.
It's what
And
people wanna-
Mr. Singerman answers, don't blame the Almighty for the evil men do. God gives us freedom to choose between good and evil. Is it his fault if people choose evil? And which sort of
It's the
really
free will
changes.
problem.
It's the free will problem. Yes.
Right.
That we all still have to reckon with today. Yes, absolutely.
So he asks, what's it all about, Mr. Singerman? The world? And Albert responds, the sun, the stars, people. It's all got me what?
To
It's
mean
all got to
something.
mean something, don't it? He asks, and here's this is the eternal quest that
Yep.
this is right here. I can't answer those questions. These are impossible questions, but Isaac says, no, I don't agree. If we ask if human beings ask such questions, there must be answers. Keep asking, keep searching, you'll find the
And
answers.
this is quintessentially Jewish. The questioning. We are taught you must question everything. That's why, you study the Torah so much, because you're not being told what it means. You're exploring the possibilities of what it all means and questioning everything. That's I think might be my favorite thing about Judaism, is that you're taught to question. And there are so many religions that if you question, that means it's sacrilege, right? Like it means it's you're a risk, you're a threat if you question anything. And in Judaism, you're supposed to question it because it's always about discussing and getting to the deeper meaning of things.
Yes.
And there's Christian, Episcopalians. What is it? Something about
Love the Episcopalians.
taking the Bible too seriously to take it literally. I think that was one of the lines. But also the Jesuits, that whole school. People go to Jesuit school. It's question.
Yeah.
Question. Why? Also why? It's and
it's learning learning critical thinking and
Yes.
thinking outside of the box and questioning. I love this scene for that. I love it.
I mean, if this is, clearly this is and for someone who knows, I've had no religious training in my life. I have to, always have to acknowledge that. But this is that questioning. I just think as being kids with people, that questioning can be annoying.
Sure.
When you hear someone questioning things all the time.
Why?
Now,
Why?
it's the
Why?
right thing to do, but it's annoying because as kids, we are fundamentally want to be followers.
Sure.
We want to fit in with everybody. We want everything to be okay. And then you've got this one kid or a couple kids or a lot of kids who are not buying that line. And they need to challenge things, and that can be a source of anxiety.
Absolutely.
For people. The questioning is very anxiety provoking.
Right. Well, it's nonconformity, and that's a threat. That's a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, so much of this is fear-based, and when you start questioning things, you're
challenging.
rocking the boat.
Yes, exactly.
And also, people want answers, right? So why are you questioning the answer we're giving you?
We gave you an answer.
How dare
gave
you
you an
question the answer we're giving you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all very interesting. I love
This
it.
is-
I love this episode.
These are really important questions. I mean, these are important themes for all of us to be considering. So,
That's
okay.
right.
So, keep searching. You'll find the answers. We cut to the interior of Mr. Singerman's house. He's putting
not
wood on
doing
the fire.
so well.
Yeah. And he has another little heart moment.
Episode.
He climbs, he gets to a chair and sits down. Cut to the next scene. We're advancing very quickly here.
Yeah.
Albert and Isaac are driving towards the bridge. They need to fill an urgent order for a coffin. I love the way he does, the way this was written for him.
The dialogue in this, the lines, and again, I hear the Michael Landon he kind of stuff going on. Gotta do.
Yeah.
We're in a hurry. Who's it for? He's a very wonderful person. It's like
A very wonderful person. Love that. Yeah.
I'm closing. When he says, "I'm closing out my build," no, because I'm going on a trip. Oh, great! Are you going to see your son? Older relatives first. My son eventually. It's like, but oh my, the way he does this, where he's like, Well, it's like I didn't say I wasn't dying. It's like oh my God.
Yeah.
And I think at this point now the audience is finally realizing, oh, the coffin they've been working on is for him. Oh my
He's playing
goodness.
at home now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly should be getting that. I don't think children watching it would necessarily follow that.
Yeah.
But it's written so sparely in that sense, and sort of it's just a sort of a throwaway conversation.
Yeah.
that he's having about we're making this for it's a patient of Dr. Baker's, and he's a wonderful person, and we're doing this. Oh,
Right.
okay.
Right.
And like I said, the little jokes of like, well, older relatives first.
That's wonderful writing. That's wonderful writing. Yeah.
I know, it's one of those things where when you rewatch it, you go, "Oh my God!
Oh, it's great.
It was all here."
Yes,
yeah, it was all here.
Exactly.
And then of course, Pa asks him, "How's Albert doing?" He says he's been a godsend.
Right.
And you should be proud of him. And then Pa says, "Bye, have a good trip." Which again, my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Pause a bit dense here.
So right away, we cut to the Singerman's shop. Isaac and Albert work on the coffin. He's singing some sort of hymn, right?
Well, so the hymn I thought was like the David Rose theme in the beginning of the
Oh, was
credits.
it? You think it was? Melodically.
Yeah, I think melodically
Okay.
it was that theme
Okay.
that we first heard. Now,
Do you think based on like
it
an
might?
old Jewish folk
I
song?
mean, it probably. I mean, it certainly sounds
That's
like
what-
every
I'm thinking
Jewish
he's, like lifting
song.
from old Jewish traditional folk
absolutely.
songs and then just like changing
Yeah,
them up.
I bet. I
everyone
bet
goes,
that's
"Oh,
what
Jewish
it was.
music."
Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Right.
Who knows? It could be an actual song, but certainly he knew how to make it sound like a traditional sort of Jewish song.
So as the singing is going on, Albert walks to get a chisel. Off camera, we hear a noise, and we hear the collapse, and Mr. Singerman is down. He's unresponsive. Albert runs for help. End of Act 3. Now that whole act
Boom.
took about 6.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's a very fast act. And now we're back. Now we're in the wrap up now. Act 4, we're in Singerman's house. Pa, Laura, and Albert wait for Doc Baker's report on Mr. We assume that's what he's doing. Doc Baker comes out. Charles, he wants to see you now. And they step into the room, and Isaac is going to just ask a few questions or ask for a favor. And
Also recycling moments. I went, that vase. Hey, that vase was in Nellie's bedroom.
That's funny.
oh, that's
my
interesting.
bed.
Oh.
That's my bed. They had one brass bed in the whole show. Okay, I'm sorry. It was just,
There were one
That's
set of green
funny,
curtains
Allison.
in the whole show.
Yeah. Yes.
right.
Yeah.
He had the
Well,
green
and,
curtains for sure.
For the record, yes, David Rose was Jewish, so
Yeah.
he knew he did know the songs.
That made sense. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. So he asked Pa if he'll please send a letter and his prayer shawl to his son in New
to
York.
his son, right.
And then this scene is so sweet. He talks about Albert and he tells him, "I love that boy like he was my own." And
Right.
the way he does it is just so
It's lovely.
it's lovely.
Yeah.
And then Albert comes in and Mr. Singerman gestures for him to come and sit by him. And he, it's clear he's not going to last that much longer.
Right.
And Albert says it isn't fair. And he says, no, it is fair. It is fair. A man should not be a schnurr with
And
life.
I
either.
tried to spell this, and I
think
don't
that's
know
right.
how I.
No, I think
is it
that is
okay?
absolutely right.
I
Yeah.
totally good. It's totally
I think
like
that's
guesswork.
correct.
Yeah.
I think it's correct also because I did have the closed captions on, so I think that is also how they spelled
Okay.
it. I think you're right,
Okay.
Dean.
Go. Good. Lucky me. Okay. Good.
SCHNURRER. I think that is 100%
Boom.
correct.
N-U.
She's looking it up.
I'm N-U and then O-R-E-R.
But he says so that
Sure.
that theme
Sure.
comes up again of not being a schnurr with life
Right.
either. I've had good
Right.
years. I'm tired. It's enough.
Yeah. It's a noun. A schnur is a noun and a verb.
a Yiddish pejorative term. Yes, and being entitled, etc., begging, self, and SCHNORRER. But I've also seen it SCHNURRER.
Ding, ding, ding.
And because it's going from Yiddish to English, so it's like there isn't an English
Right,
spelling.
because it would be
Really.
in Hebrew letters or German
So
or whatever.
indeed, it's spelled slightly different, and they even say like a beggar who then presents himself as being entitled to the alms received. It's that you're like, it's someone who's
Is that
selfish and
deserve it?
entitled and- yes, give me.
Love it.
So he goes on to say, I'm tired. It's enough. And Albert's heartbroken. He won't be here. I'm going to find. So I love this. This is going back to the scene by the lake. I mean, by the little pond. I'm going to find answers to some of my questions.
Yeah.
And he goes on to say, we have work to do. A craftsman doesn't leave a job unfinished. You must finish our work together.
I mean,
it's for a very nice person.
He has to
And
walk
they
away
hug.
from deathbed
Yeah.
to go finish that coffin.
Finish
Yeah.
his coffin. I mean,
Yes.
listen, might be a little traumatizing for a 12-year-old, I
Yeah.
might say, but
Make the coffin for your best friend.
make a coffin for your best friend.
And he as he walks out the door, Isaac buttons the seam with no nails.
No nails.
No
No
nails.
nails.
Because he made the point that the order this is an important on the bridge. He made that this is an important, and time does matter now.
Time does matter.
So
for
suddenly,
this order.
time in this instance, time does matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. He leaves. He goes back to the shop. He's finishing the coffin. Pa comes to join him, tells him that Isaac has passed. Albert cries softly.
This moment. How did this 12-year-old boy do this? I mean, this would be something that a fully seasoned adult this would be a challenge for a fully seasoned adult actor to do, which is Pa comes and tells him he's gone, and his silent but full tiered response. And Matt Laberto.
I don't know where that comes from.
Laberto.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Yeah, I know. He really is truly exceptional and
Extraordinary.
yeah.
And
he's
then
exceptional.
and just kept working.
Yeah.
Ugh, that scene.
Yeah. And so he keeps working on the coffin. Pa leaves him. And Pa doesn't, Michael does not insert himself into this moment.
No.
He steps away, lets Albert have the moment. And then we finish. Albert plants the acorn near the headstones of Isaac and his wife.
With
They're
his wife.
together now, right? And
And then we get an Albert voiceover.
well, I think this is a huge thing. That
An
is
Albert
I don't know
voiceover?
that in any other episode of the series
Never.
that happens.
Nope.
Never.
That started and I was shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Did you just like plots, basically?
I was verklempt. Yes, now we're busting out all the Yiddish words.
I mean, this
Here we
is
go.
Little House is Laura's story.
It's Laura's story.
It's Laura's story. Laura has always been the voice of all of these moments at whatever
know.
age she was, from the very beginning to the very end. I don't know that there's any other one, but this was really a surprise.
It was
I
so
guess
surprising.
When you go to the books, we do have Farmer Boy, as we talked about, which is El Manzo's story.
Sure.
So I guess
Well, now
and
that's-
we're having Albert's story.
But that's all written in the third person in terms of the
right, you're right.
explanations.
Right,
I mean,
right,
So,
right, right.
Albert, and I was like blown away, and like, okay, when they talk about like directed with restraint, and we talk about different TV, like the scene we're talking about that's just killing us when they're talking about the questions. It's a long shot of them by the lake. Most of it is from like half a mile
it's
away.
it's
shooting down
very
on them.
cinematic.
It's not
Yet again, that's
tight
Michael's
close-ups.
kind of cinema.
When he cries, it's not wailing and weeping and screaming and crying. It's not a
Nope.
big tight close. He continues to carve, and Pa doesn't run in and hug him in the regular stirring music. No, we just do it, and he finishes the coffin.
Right.
We don't show the funeral. We don't show the coffin going into the ground. We don't have anybody. We just don't discuss it because clearly it had to be some kind of Jewish ceremony. So it wasn't the Reverend Alden. So they just leave it to your imagination.
Right.
Whatever they figured out to do.
Yeah.
But he's next to his wife. And then Albert plants the thing, and it's totally there's nobody else there. There's not the whole family didn't show up, or Laura or anything. And then Albert is the final narration. It is like, let's just like all the cliches that anybody else would have done at this moment out the window. We're going to do this.
And it's so effective, mind-blowing. Yes.
Oh no, it's great. And
then you see the two trees, they pull back and then
all of it, the framing of the framing of the planting of the headstones around the two oak trees.
Is Albert planting the acorn again at the grave, and the voiceover says, "I felt real good planting that tree because I knew long after I was gone it would still be there watching over Mr. Singerman."
And then there's the shot of the graves, but with the trees, because there's no trees there. There's no trees there when he's planting nothing. There's not a tree. It's like 500 yards, and then it's the trees. You see bending over, like,
you guys, what did we just experience?
Wow. Yeah, no, it's a wonderful episode. It really truly is, and
I'm going to say
I don't know how you could not be. If you can, it's interesting. I mean, the episode works with or without the cultural reference. I mean, it doesn't require that.
Not at all.
It works for the bigotry story, but the emotional story, the kindness, those themes, the human themes.
Yeah.
That's universal.
Yeah. The older generation passing on the wisdom to this 12-year-old boy, passing on the wisdom, and his own pa saying, yes, that's a good idea. You should go apprentice to this elder person who knows things and learn stuff.
Yeah, you could learn from a better person. Right.
You can learn from your parents, but you should also go learn from other people, like this old guy's a craftsman who's brilliant. You should go do that. That will make you a better person.
Yeah.
Can we, before we close this episode, because when we were watching this yesterday, I thought to myself, were there Jews on the prairie? I don't know if this is historically accurate. And then I went on a Google search, and holy moly, were there Jews on the prairie, baby?
Yes,
there's a whole Jewish pioneer movement, which I had no idea about. There were thousands of Jewish settlers in the American prairie and Great Plains in the late 1800s. Many Eastern European and German Jewish immigrants settled, obviously, in New York and other large cities, but thousands of them traveled west to build towns and to open businesses and, try their luck the same as everyone else was trying their luck.
Right.
It's really fascinating to me. There were Jewish agricultural colonies in the Dakotas. That is wild.
The synagogue in America is in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Yes. And it's like from the 1600s from Sephardic Jews who were here in the 1600s.
I think George Washington went to that synagogue, because I've seen that synagogue.
George Washington paid a visit to the Sephardic synagogue in Rhode Island. Ponder that.
So I had no... So what we were talking about this before, Allison, like the whole Percival storyline... 100% historically accurate. And they would change their names often to not be pigeonholed, stereotyped, whatever. But they absolutely were in the prairie.
Freedom. They talked about, because, like in this one, they're very traditional, saying my family has to pick my wife. I got to get back to New York because the family's picked a wife for me, and this is how we do stuff, the old country, right? But as Percival talks about in the episode, and this was totally a thing, because when I did the episode, I looked it up and was like, what? No way. That young men would leave the cities and their families and say, hey, everyone's making their way. There were Jewish homesteaders who used the Homestead Act and got everything. You can get out there, and merchants, etc., experts in their field, as Percival was like training people to run a hotel restaurant. They had a skill that was needed, and they go out to these towns and were usually well received. They had something they wanted, but they would sometimes change their name to, just to be safe. But it was seen as a new frontier. They said it's different now. Things are different now, Papa, as Percival's constantly saying, and it's a new world. So some of them married. Poor kid in this episode says, no, I got to get a Jewish wife. There were some people who said, well, it's a new world. I can marry a non-Jewish wife, Gentile way, and it'll work out. And I remember when I watched the Come Let Us Reason Together, and they borrowed the church from the Reverend Alden, said, can we use it on Saturday? And he said, sure. And Isaiah Cohen, the dad, and his dad go in, and Mr. Cohen sanctifies it as a synagogue. I was like, now this sounds like a stretch. No, people did that. They completely did that.
Yeah.
They came to towns and said, well, yeah, there's more than 2 of us. Can we use your church on? We're not using it Saturday. Go ahead. And that was a thing.
So interesting. Yeah, because part of me is like, well, this is Meg Landon's imagination. And okay, let's put some Jews on the prairie. But guess what, folks? They were there, too. Really quite
There's a Gene
amazing.
Wilder comedy Western where he's a Jewish cowboy out on the prairie. I'm trying, and then it's hilarious. But again, it's based on like actual historical stories.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Right. Anyway, I just wanted to drop that historical.
Well, maybe we'll
fact
talk
before
more
we
about
leave.
that in our Patreon package.
Okay. We'll talk about Jews
Historical
on the prairie.
It's true.
Yes. Yes.
All right, we're an hour and 47 minutes.
Yes.
What is wrong
my
with
God.
us?
What are
What
we
is
doing?
wrong with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, some episodes demand that. This
That
is
is
not.
true.
You know. This is not the older brothers.
No, I you know what? I'm so glad you said it because I was like, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And then I was like, okay, I won't say it. No, this ain't no older brothers because now we have to talk about the older brothers every episode we ever do. How did we get from this to the older brothers?
It's a study in contrast.
Okay.
Totally.
Are we gonna do an episode about Halloween Dream in the Facebook?
We have to.
Well,
We have to.
Girl.
Yeah, of
The
course.
good, bad, and the ugly. Yeah. Okay, let's wrap this thing up. You guys, thank you so much for being with us. This is an exceptional episode.
Heavy
this
going.
this one is a beautiful, beautiful one. Thank you so much for being with us. Join us on our socials, Little House 50 Podcast, or our website, littlehouse50podcast.com. Please like and subscribe. You know, give us some good reviews. It helps with the algorithm. It really does help us quite a lot. So thank you for doing that. And join us on Patreon. We're going to talk so much more. And you guys are missing out on the really good conversations that we can't necessarily do on the podcast. So everything's in the show notes. Have a great week, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bob, get the wig. Let's fly. With our prayer shawl, I suppose, and a coffin? I don't know.
And a coffin? Well, maybe we'll
Down
need
in
the
the
coffin if
coffin.
we're flying down the hill.
If you're not careful flying,